We are now on air. Time for a total takeover.
It's finally here. Welcome to a new episode.
It's about to go down.
Good morning, everybody. It's yours truly, Dan Adams, a.k.a. the social conservative, the DA, and the prosecutor. That's right. I'm here way early. It's about 6:09 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Got an early start here at the 9 to 5. As you can see, it's not the Political Heat Studios in my basement in my house. I'm actually at the 9 to 5. I'm here so early. No one's here, so I can get this video portion done for the Dan Adams Show, the morning edition. Here, April 11th, 2017. I'm going to be moving around and about. I'm here early because I'm trying to get some stuff done. So all my YouTube people, if you check this out and you see me moving all around, that is the issue. So let's go ahead and right off the top tippy. Let's go ahead and talk about the continued backlash, I guess, if you want to call it. I don't know if you even want to call it that. But I guess the continued backlash in regards to Donald J. Trump and individuals feeling that his strategic bombing of the airfields in Syria that supposedly flew the planes out that had these sarin gas chemical weapons attached to them, and they were unfortunately used in a manner, and to this day, ladies and gentlemen, to this day, I am still on the fence in regards to what really went down, why it went down. You got so many people having different theories in regards to Bashar al-Assad didn't do it, he did do it, we did it, somebody named MTV Raps did it. I mean, seriously, some of these theories are just way far out there. And the conspiratorial aspect of this is starting to get a little out of hand. I mean, it's like either he did it or he didn't. And I'm leaning towards, I think he did. And I need proof to show me otherwise that he didn't. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, was it our responsibility, ladies and gentlemen, to go in and do what we did in regards to bombing those Syrian air bases? Now, we all know, ladies and gentlemen, and we're hearing reports as we go along with this particular story, and we all knew the background story in regards to Obama and the Obama administration drawing that red line and doing nothing about it, and supposedly had a deal struck that Assad would get rid of all of his chemical weapons. Well, obviously he didn't. If this attack happened and he perpetrated it, he didn't get rid of all of the weapons that so-called Obama and the Obama administration put out there that he did. So once again, either they were grossly mistaken, or once again, we've been lied to or were lied to by Obama and the Obama administration. I'm leaning towards the latter, because what other evidence can be put forth to dispute that? When you have a man back in 2009 screaming and yelling, telling us, ladies and gentlemen, to our faces at every turn, in regards to the Affordable Health Care Act, that you and I didn't have to worry about anything if we had a doctor and if we had a plan. We can keep our doctor, we can keep our plan. Premiums wouldn't go up. On average, families in America would save $2,500. All of those things that were said were lies. Has anyone fessed up? Has anyone claimed responsibility for those lies? No. The left and the liberal numbnut moonbats are still running around saying that Obamacare, a.k.a. the Affordable Care Act, is the best thing basically since sliced bread. I guess when you live in a delusionary world, ladies and gentlemen, like the left does in this country, because I deal in reality, ladies and gentlemen. I don't deal with things that don't make sense. Now, as I said, ladies and gentlemen, for all my YouTube people, I'm making this turn so I can work on this PC, because that's why I'm here early at the JOB. So, but all my speaker people, just disregard. But as I was stating, ladies and gentlemen, you have a situation where a man lied through his entire 8-year presidency. Had so many scandals that people who slobbed his knob for 8 years wanted to perpetrate this fraud, ladies and gentlemen, this fraud that his presidency was scandal-free. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's what some of his supporters are saying, that his presidency was scandal-free. There were no scandals whatsoever. There was no Fast and Furious. There was no IRS. There was no Benghazi. There was no tapping of James Rosen of Fox News and many other things that I could detail, but I don't have enough time. And all these things he read about and heard about in the news when they broke, but yet he had a scandal-free presidency. Now, his presidency is still overlapping, ladies and gentlemen, with the new administration of Donald J. Trump. Case in point, Susan Rice, unmasking American citizens for political purposes. There was no other purpose. There was no national security concerns. So what other reason, ladies and gentlemen? And we still don't know the extent. And as I was going to the store, I believe, last night, turned on Mark Levin, and he's talking about how Jeff Sessions, as a senator, was being investigated during the campaign, and other individuals. And I had to look up, and I haven't even had a chance to do any of that yesterday. I was on complete, didn't crack open the laptop or nothing. But I need to look into this further, and I'm thinking to myself, really? So the Obama administration was investigating Jeff Sessions, a sitting senator. Investigating him for what? He knew, I guess, Obama, because, please, stop. The left, you think that us out here, the rest of us, independents and conservatives and libertarians, are complete and utter idiots? Do you really think that Obama had nothing to do, and I mean nothing to do, with all of the scandals and all of the dastardly deeds that went on during his presidency? If that was the case, ladies and gentlemen, if that was the case, then you have a situation where, number one, this individual who supposedly was president for 8 years had no control over anything. So we all know that's false, because we all know that he is a control freak. So, supporters of Barack Hussein Obama, are you still going to continue to go down this route? Are you still going to even have the audacity, that's right, audacity to think that we, the rest of us out here, are that dumb and that stupid and that naive to think that he, Barack Hussein Obama, wasn't the controller, wasn't the gatherer, wasn't the number one force behind everything that happened during his presidency? If he wasn't, ladies and gentlemen, if he had all these rogue factions dispersed throughout his administration, then how can you claim him as being one of the best presidents that ever lived if he didn't even have any control of his administration for 8 years? And all these scandals that came about. And we're going to continue to learn more and more. I told you that last year of his presidency, that we're going to continue to learn more and more and more in regards to what went down behind closed doors. What went down that we didn't see. So for all you out there, and I'm talking about Obama supporters, you continue to do whatever you need to do. You continue to go to bat for this man, because that's your right. We live in America. Land of the free and the home of the brave, ladies and gentlemen. But if you're going to continue to go to bat and support and defend this man, then be prepared for the consequences. Be prepared for an all-out attack, from us out here who live in reality, not in this liberal la-la land that most of these liberals live in. And we're going to continue to state facts and bring you the truth. Point blank. End the story. End the discussion. So I am basically trying to make it easy for you. Give you an out. To say, okay, I supported the man. But right now, with all these revelations of Susan Rice, the scandals that you say didn't happen during his administration, and I didn't even mean to even go off on this Obama tangent, but this is where it took me, ladies and gentlemen. This is how it happens when you go off the cuff and off the dome. But I'm not going to allow myself to continue to be the only mouthpiece of opposition for Barack Hussein Obama. I have some of my Never Trump crowd out there who keep saying, well, why do I continue to attack Obama, and why aren't I on the heels of Donald J. Trump? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have. I've called Donald J. Trump out on things that I disagreed with. So what else do you want me to do? When news happens and it has to be talked about and it involves the prior administration, meaning Barack Hussein Obama, then I'm going to talk about it. And I'm sorry, if that doesn't, take the cake for you, then there's nothing else I can do. There's really nothing else I can do. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you go about your day to day, and this was going to be a quick session because like I said, I'm here at the 9 to 5 early, trying to get things done, but I wanted to make sure I at least came to you with my thoughts for today, early this morning. I want to make sure of one thing, and I hope you enjoyed this impromptu session of yours truly, Dan Adams, a.k.a. the Soulful Conservative, the DA, and the prosecutor. Want to just give a big shout out and congratulations to now Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch. My condolences and my prayers, my thoughts go out to the young man, the 8-year-old young man whose life was taken yesterday in San Bernardino. Needlessly taken, ladies and gentlemen. As I was talking with my wife last night, I'm thinking to myself, if you have this, heck-bent notion that you're going to take your own life, then take your own life. Make it a singular action. Why are you taking other people's lives along with you? I don't understand it. I will never understand it when it comes to this. So my thoughts and my prayers go out to the Jonathan Martinez family. May he rest in peace. Until next time, God bless you and yours. May he keep you and your family safe from any harm or danger. And as this being Holy Week, may we continue to set our eyes on the prize. And that is one day, ladies and gentlemen, when our life is over, that we will meet our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ in paradise. Peace.
Hey, can I get some help here?
Yes, you. I'm talking to all of you. I need your help because I, just like many of you, am one of the millions of Americans who is all too familiar with cancer. I lost both my grandfathers and my uncle to cancer. My grandmother battled cancer 3 times in her lifetime, and my amazing mom, well, she's a 2-time cancer survivor. But there is certainly reason for hope. Due to earlier diagnosis and evolving research, the 5-year survival rates have increased for people living with cancer. One exciting area of cancer research today is the field of immuno-oncology, science that aims to work with the body's own immune system to help fight cancer. That's why I'm proud to be joining Bristol-Myers Squibb and the cancer community to launch Ready, Raise, Rise, a program that educates about immuno-oncology research and encourages people to raise a flag for those we love affected by this horrible disease. On this website, you can create a personalized flag on behalf of yourself or a loved one touched by cancer and share it with your friends. You can also select a cancer organization you would like to receive a potential donation. The 3 groups with the most flags raised on their behalf will receive a charitable donation from Bristol-Myers Squibb. By sharing your flag, you're making a difference by supporting loved ones, raising money for cancer groups, and educating about groundbreaking research. So please, join me. Let's raise our flags against cancer.
This poem is for the woman I love. I knew not what love was till you awoke within my heart. We are now together forever, never shall we part. I will track where you are, I'll decide whom you see. Remember, sweetheart, you belong only to me. So do what I say and don't do anything dumb, or I may have to hit you until you are numb. If you tell another soul, well, that will just make me mad. 'Cause I tolerate you, and for that you should be glad. There's one more feeling I must express to you, honey. Don't ever, ever let me catch you touching my money.
Some relationships are not as they appear. That's because domestic abuse is often hidden. Join the Women's Center and Shelter in the effort to end abuse early on and help us provide emergency sanctuary to those who most need your protection. To donate, visit the Women's Center and Shelter at wcscanhelp.org.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. Less than a week after the deadly truck attack in Sweden, a confession from the accused driver. Fox Radio's Simon Owen is live in our European bureau.
Elisa Rakhmat Akilov's lawyer telling a court in Stockholm that the 39-year-old admits committing a terrorist crime. He was arrested a few hours after Friday's attack, in which a truck was driven into pedestrians and then a department store. 4 people died. Prosecutor Hans Ehrman promising a thorough investigation.
We will do whatever we can to get all the guilty person in front of the court.
The suspect is an Uzbek national who'd been denied asylum in Sweden and ordered to leave. Officials say he'd previously shown interest in extremist groups, including ISIS. Lisa?
Thanks, Simon. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson heads to Russia today.
There's a lot of things to obviously discuss. The overall fight on ISIS, but I think with respect to Syria in particular, I think we need to remind them of the commitments that they've made and the commitments that Syria's made.
White House spokesman Sean Spicer, there's a report Russia knew in advance about the chemical weapons attack that killed dozens in Syria.
It was the Associated Press that reported yesterday that the U.S. intelligence community has reached a preliminary conclusion that the Russians did have foreknowledge of that Syrian chemical attack. However, a senior Trump administration official tells Fox News that there is no such consensus in the U.S. intelligence community as of yet.
Fox's James Rosen. United Airlines facing backlash after defending the way a man was dragged off a flight after refusing to surrender his seat for staff on standby.
United Airlines CEO Oscar Munoz apologizing for overbooking, but is defending his employees for their response, stating this, especially with respect to why this customer defied Chicago aviation security officers the way he did.
Fox's Kelly Wright, the Transportation Department investigating. Fair and balanced. Boston gearing up for Marathon Day next Monday with more security tweaks 4 years since the deadly marathon bombing.
Securing America.
Last year, Massachusetts security officials told spectators coming to the Boston Marathon to leave their drones at home. This year, officials are tethering their own drones to trucks at the starting line.
They will be providing live video feeds into public safety command centers.
Vehicle barriers will also prevent the sort of automotive attack that's been taking place across Europe.
Either sand trucks or Packers or whatever they have available so that a vehicle wouldn't be able to drive through.
And 5,000 uniformed and undercover officers will line the 26-mile route. But FBI Special Agent in charge of the Boston office, Hank Shaw, says he's aware of no threats for Monday's race.
You have to be mindful and guarded to your surroundings.
In Boston, Bill Marcus, Fox News.
An elementary school in mourning in California after a man shot and killed his estranged wife, a special ed teacher, in her classroom.
My teacher said to go outside, hurry, because that sounds like gunshots.
An 8-year-old student was also killed in the shooting, another student wounded, and the suspect killed himself. Police say he had a domestic abuse record, and the couple, who had just married in January, had separated last month. A special election day in Kansas to fill a Republican congressional seat left open when Mike Pompeo became CIA director.
Democrat James Thompson, a lawyer and Army veteran, is running a surprisingly strong campaign by challenging the policies of President Trump and Republican Governor Sam Brownback. The GOP has scrambled to provide last-minute support for their candidate, State Treasurer Ron Estes.
Fox's Melanie Wilkes in Washington. The GOP has held that seat for more than 20 years. A mostly lower day for world markets, and Dow futures are lower too. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio. Markets and Dow futures are lower too. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Well, Egypt has the largest Christian community in the Middle East and one of the oldest in the world. It predates Islam, of course, by hundreds of years. But that community is now under siege, truly. On Sunday, at least 44 people were killed in a pair of suicide bombings targeting Palm Sunday celebrations in churches. We've got some footage of that attack, which is pretty awful. It was one of the latest of many attacks on the Egyptian minority, the Christian minority there. And yet the American press doesn't seem to care much about it, the obliteration of the Middle East's once large Christian population. The question is, why don't they care? We're joined now by Piers Morgan. He's editor-at-large at dailymail.com. Piers, thanks a lot for coming on. So you sent out a tweet right after this saying, this will not get the attention of massacres in Europe, but it should. Why won't it, do you think?
I think, unfortunately, if it happens in the Middle East, this kind of atrocity, it just does not seem to attract the kind of media attention in America that it would if it happened, as we've seen in the attacks in Sweden last few days, in London 2 weeks ago. I was there for that. Huge attention in the American media. In Paris, in Nice, these get huge attention. And yet what happened in Egypt was unbelievably significant. If you look at what ISIS really stands for, what they are eradicated. And they want to convert all Muslims to their crusade. They want it to be a holy war. And they want Christians gone. And I don't think that narrative
makes it the West. And yet there's this sense that it's somehow wrong to root for the home team. When something happens to Christians abroad, it's somehow, I don't know, impolite to mention it because it's self-interested. Have you noticed this?
Right. I mean, look, ISIS couldn't be more transparent. After the attack in St. Petersburg last week, they made it absolutely clear. This is a war against the cross. They said that. That was what the statement said. They are at war in their heads with Christianity, not just with Christianity. They're at war with all other religions as well. But they have been singling out in increasingly virulent terms that their real war now is against Christians and the cross. I'm a Catholic. The Pope Francis is due to go to Egypt in 2 weeks' time. I'm concerned about his safety. After what happened on Palm Sunday, I'm concerned about the Pope's safety. He would be a massive target, a massive prize for these Islamist terrorists. And they've made it very clear that he is a #1 target for them in their battle against Christians. They attacked a church where the Coptic Pope was actually officiating. So they have made their intentions clear. Now, I think this is a huge story. This is the kind of story that ought to be dominating cable news in America. It should be dominating headlines around the world. The press in America should be full of headlines about this. This narrative, to me, is very straightforward. ISIS have declared war on Christianity. I'm not seeing that being covered enough.
No, basically no one is covering it here. I think you're in the UK right now, but you can just imagine the silence this has been greeted by. Here and there a story. Part of the problem is there are no spokesmen for this. So if almost any other group was under attack, you would have people calling up TV stations and saying, put me on, I represent this group. Where are the leaders of Christian churches in America, in the West, stand? I mean, I don't want to single anyone out by name, Archbishop of Canterbury, but where are they? Why aren't they saying something?
Well, I couldn't agree more with you. And they're very quick, these leaders, to come off and get on the airwaves and talk about other atrocities. When a handful of people were killed in London, I was there. I worked literally 500 yards from Westminster Bridge. So I was there within hours of that happening. And I was struck by the immediate race by religious figures to come and talk about this in public. But where are they now after what happened? The eyes of the global media and global religious leaders not to be as important as these kind of wannabe jihadis that we're seeing, who probably spend too much time on the internet getting into trucks and mowing people down. Well, yeah, they're dangerous people and they're hideous atrocities, and obviously our thoughts go with the people that they kill and maim and the rest of it. But actually what happened in Egypt, to me, with these attacks on these two Coptic churches, was hugely more significant in the overall war. It looked very tactical by ISIS. It looked like they'd sent in highly trained people to do this. And it looked a far more coordinated part of a much bigger plot by them to take on Christianity, as was the attack in St. Petersburg. They said it, like I said. They said this was an attack on the cross. But again, the coverage of St. Petersburg, the coverage in Egypt, not as high as the coverage of a handful of people being killed in Sweden and London. And I ask simply, why?
I think thank you for being such a clear voice in this. Not to mention the Christians in Iraq who have basically been exterminated. Piers Morgan, editor-at-large, dailymail.com. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Tucker.
Preparing for a better future, whatever suits you, here comes the soldier. Always on the side of justice, nothing out there that can corrupt us. Exiting to the path of righteousness, maintained through these lyrical passages, saving oneself from self-destruction. Time to meditate with no interruption, so you can align your brain waves parallel to the soul. There's the keyhole. The key that fits is always in your possession, without question. Bring your best to the forefront, broadcasting live, time to survive. Obstacles put in front of you, overcoming the madness you're going through. Just let your light shine. Just let your light shine. Started up the coalition to ease the friction, voiced by my lyrical diction, displacing the negativity, running rampant throughout the community. Whether rich, middle class, or poor, ignorance is learned. Time to burn those bridges, causing unknown effects. Worrying who's gonna cash the checks, but who's gonna take the brunt of the weight being forced on citizens struggling to make a living. We need to prioritize, let your talents rise above. It's all love being shared through this musical outreach, magnified by this new style of speech. Designated myself as the one to implement real change. Now let me represent. Just let your light shine. Just let your light shine. One with the master plan is in demand. Let me take a stand, defeat the nonsense laced with ignorance. Repent, educate, don't build a fence. We need to open up and start to converse. Never secondhand, let it be first. Feeling animosity towards the next man. We evaluate and start over again. Something got switched during transport. Aim kinda high, but you fell short. Are you gonna let that define you? Or pick up the pieces and fight through? We need to make it better for the children. So this is the place where I begin to lay the framework for the future. We design to let your light shine. Just let your light shine. Just Whoa.